This table runner is our focus for the braided twist showcase number 2. I'll show you how I made the scalloped edges, centered the embroidery, and fussy cut the printed fabric. Let's get started. Well, I've got some great fabric for you. This has got all these cute little cook things of milk and chocolate and recipe books and a baster. It was designed by Deborah Gable. She does the row by row experience. My friend Sherry Compton embroidered kitchen motifs onto the check fabric that's in the line. To accentuate the braid, I'm going to add a bit of blue between the print and embroidery. Here's the folded insert page that comes in your braided twist packet. Notice that area in blue? It shows what will be visible when your braid is twisted. Cut a piece of template plastic the exact size of the rectangle. Now trace the visible area lines onto it. Dashed portion represents the center stitching line. Look again at our finished runner. I used our template to place the embroideries. Yes, it's the same template, just rotated around for that bean pot. This is why you must label the corners of your template as top left and top right. Be careful, cut it right, or you might just spill the beans. Now, we want to take this and place it just where we want it. Well, we have a problem. Although the fabric will cover the visible area, there's not enough to finish that rectangle. But don't worry, it's an easy fix. Just sew another piece on, knowing that the added piece will be hidden in the final project. Wanting something to accentuate the shape, I drew a scallop line here. It fits with the visible area, and it gives me scallop around here. Now, this scallop design is available on our website, and you can download it. What I'm going to do is put these two together like this, and I'm going to trace the scallops on. Here it is, once it's been traced on. Nah, it's not perfect, but it's going to work for the placement. We'll set this aside. I want to take another piece, and you can see that it is the mirror image because I'm going to be tracing this on the paper side of a fusible. I took the traced fusible and I bonded it to the wrong side of the fabric. That's the right side, and now I'm ready to cut this out. Because of the way that the design is, I'm able to nest two of those together and save a little fabric. Now, first of all, I go around and cut that outside edge. Kind of trim that, get it out of the way. And of course, your outside edge isn't critical. Now we're ready to do the scallops. For the scallops, I slow down and I use a small 18mm cutter, and I'll start wherever, and I'm just going to slowly cut the line. Okay, so we just continue to cut around. This is really a nice way of doing little curves. Okay, now I've got one cut. Peel the backing paper off like this. We have our lines on our tin plastic, and we have our scallop piece cut out. You can see too that I've added a strip of fabric to make sure it's long enough, and I trace this line onto my fabric. See, now I know where I want to put my applique, so I can start here and line up my scallop to those markings. Smooth it out, and let's put the template on here again to double check, because when I'm pleased, I'll take it to the iron and I'll bond that on. Here it is. I fused it on and satin stitched around the edge. Remember, that outside edge is going to be encased in the seam, so you don't have to satin stitch that. One more time, put the template back on. Get it exactly the way you want it and mark right on the corners of the template. Also mark at the notch. That's your center point where you'll eventually clip, and it helps to remind you that that will be the center side. Now I'm going to cut my rectangle by connecting those corner marks. So I'm going to come here with my ruler, and I'll cut, and here. And again, you can see where I've added a piece on, but when I go to my next step, you're also going to see that it will all be hidden. Again, cutting it into the exact size rectangle that we'll need. I have used freezer paper on the back of this to stabilize my applique. So I can just turn this over, peel away the freezer paper. I'll cut away quarter circles. So this is my top B. Rotate it like this and like this so that the B are lined up with my rectangle. And now I'll cut. Let's move to the next one. This is my B. It will be at the bottom. To cut the quarter circle, I need to rotate it in the same way using my B line. I'm cutting right along the edge of my applique. Now notice the second B is cut with the motif upside down. So here's this one. Again, I have the insert page that's in your braided twist packet. And this time I'm going to use the other side. I'm going to hold my piece of tin plastic. It fits right to this square. And I'm going to trace along the blue line here. This is my visible area. The dashed line is my center seam. We're going to put that little notch in there so we know what's centered. Right on here, this goes to the B rectangle, and this goes to the outside edge. That's the outside edge of the runner. Because this definitely has a right and left side to it, so these words are important. This is my B rectangle that I've cut a bite out of. I'm going to take the template that I just traced. I need to rotate it so that the part that says B rectangle is next to the B rectangle, and the outside edge is where the outside would be. And I look at all my possibilities, but I think I'm going to take those cooking utensils. I like those. I make sure that the red dots are parallel to my edge so I don't get it crooked. I want just a little bit more of the blue. It's got a touch of the yellow, touch of the blue. So I'm careful the way I pick my spot, and I'm going to draw right directly on the fabric so I know where to cut my square, like that, okay? Now I can open up my fabric and cut a hole right in the middle of it. Yes, fussy cutting does use a bit more fabric, and it takes a bit more time, but I think it's so worth it in the end. Okay, I have my fabric all spread out, and yes, I'm going to cut a hole right in the center of this fabric, lining up 3 of the marks, here, here, and then I'll just slide my ruler up and find that mark and that mark. Line it up over here. Just about got it. So here's my fussy cut square. Let's go back and double check. Do I have it the right place? I have done this wrong before. Okay, so here we are. This is going to be the outside edge. This is the one I'm going to seam. This is where I cut from. This corner right here. Pick it up, turn it around, and now I'm going to cut my A. I've got my braided twist tool, place it on the A like this, and now we're going to cut. Okay, let's double check. Here's my B, and here's my tools. We will put the template on top. Yes, B side is where it's supposed to be, so we're set to go. Now I'll go sew those together. This is the lower B rectangle that's been cut, and now I'm looking for the background piece. I put my template here so that the B rectangle is with the B. You can see where the outside edge is going to be, and this is what I picked out, the one with the little cookbooks. It's just the way I want it, and now I can cut this. So I've rotated this around, and now I'm ready to cut it. And this is the corner that I'm going to cut from. I can double check myself right there. Yes, that's the right place. I take my braided twist tool, I place the A here and the A here. They both line up, and I cut, and now we'll double check it. Here it is, the lower one. The upper one goes on your left side, and the lower one goes on the right side. And I can sew those together. Now I can cut the remaining rectangles. If I were to cut my rectangle here, can you see the problem? I've got my utensils doubled. One's going up, one's going down. So I want to find a different spot. So I will shop around until I find something that's going to look good together. I kind of like that. I like the red there. That looks about right. We're going to check that with our template. Now the rest of this will be hidden, but this looks good to me. I like that. I'm going to mark it here. Label this rectangle as it's the top right rectangle. Once you have your pieces cut, you're then ready to add your backing pieces and then your fleece and assemble the parts. You'll sew those together, and then you'll twist. Now I won't be repeating all those steps of construction in this video because we have several already on YouTube and our website that will show you that. And you have your book. You can find the pattern for this scalloped edging on our website's rest of the story. Our website is phillipsfiberart.com, and we hope to see you there. Thank you, and God bless.